another spontaneous meet the brewers at the beer ditch. This is Sebastian from Freigeist. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
And welcome to Malmö.
Thank you.
And yeah, really spontaneous meeting here. I didn't have any time to read up on your brewery. I had a few beers of yours before, but first of all, where are you based?
In the area of Cologne. It's very close to the border triangle, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany.
Yeah.
And we started 10 years ago. So just like pretty much one of the very first craft beer breweries in Germany, if you would define craft beer in a way of like pushing boundaries and using more experimental techniques and ingredients. You know, obviously we have a lot of traditional and small breweries around, a lot of artisanal breweries, but they would just like produce classic styles. Obviously it's very difficult to really push the border somewhere, but it's just like, I don't know how the craft is defined more in the modern characteristic. It would be like one of the first, or maybe the first brewery in Germany to produce modern craft beer.
Yeah. When did you start?
10 years ago, in 2009.
Yeah.
I'm the founder and would also the brewer as well.
Yeah, nice. And you're here in Malmö now. You have a mini tap takeover here at Beer Ditch, thanks to Lennart, the constant companion. This is one of the beers that you have on tap today, called Sanctus Spiritus, or
Spiritus Sanctus.
Other way around. The right words, at least. Sour dark ale.
It's a beer.
No, smoked.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's not sour.
No, it's smoked dark ale. Very herbal.
Yes, it's a beer we made with Karak Ale. It's the only craft beer brewery in Jordan. So there's like Amstel Heineken around for some decades, but since a couple of years there's a small craft beer brewery just outside of the capital, Amman. And so they came over to visit, and I went over to them as well to brew something as well. So we actually made this on a bigger scale on their system. Okay. But first we brewed it on in Germany, and so it's pretty much a lot of Middle Eastern ingredients we used in this one. And so first of all we used the date syrup. It's a 8% stoutish type of beer, so it really works well with getting a little bit of a fruity touch and a little bit more thickness, but just like making it more drinkable, more easier drinkable. And then the very crazy character obviously comes in from brewing with incense and myrrh. Yeah. So it gets a lot of like a bit perfumed spiciness. It's just like very typical, the smell, also the taste association you get from like we're pretty much walking inside of a Catholic church, you know. So it's just like very the same characteristics, and it's a very experimental beer, obviously, but we really try to make it work, that it's very balanced and you can still experience the spiciness in a good way. Obviously, if you don't like the spiciness, there's nothing you can do about it, and you will never like a beer made with it, except you don't taste it. Yeah. But if you actually want to showcase the spices, I think it's
it is really a unique flavor profile. I don't think I've tried anything that resembles this. And you're drinking one of the other beers that we can find at Systembolaget.
Yes, exactly.
Aufschneide Weizen, Hopfenweizen.
Yes.
Yes, a wheat beer, and I remember it's quite light and refreshing. But you also have some very smaller, or some bottles on the list here. Yeah, here's the list of the beers.
Yes.
Yeah, this Aqua de Valencia was really interesting.
That's like one of the two champagne beers we have, which are right over there in the fridge. So the Agua de Valencia we made with two friends, which both have some origin in Spain. One of the breweries area is from Madrid, and so we made a beer based on the drink Agua de Valencia. So it's a strong ale made with juniper, and then we add mandarins, blood oranges, lemons and limes, and then do a whole champagne method with it, which means we have the same process, hand rattling, degorging and so on, what you would do with wine as well to make champagne out of it. And the same process we also use for the Shampoosweisse, which is another beer there, so it's the one on the bottom. And it's a traditional Berliner Weisse we brewed back in 2017. And then we would age it with Brettanomyces in wooden barrels. And for half a year, then we would do a champagne method on it. And then 1 year later, so it was 1.5 years in wooden barrels, we did a vintage version of it as a comparison, same beer, just like 1 more year in wooden barrels. And now we just did the 2.5 years, which is like in the making right now. So the champagne method is going on, and so that is the beer which comes out next.
Yeah. And what's the future for Freigeist? What's the next? Been running now for 10 years, and what's the next 10 years going to be like?
There's always a lot of
or the near future. What's happening?
I mean, there's always working on a lot of projects, which makes it very interesting. You know, there's like, I think a lot of people who get a bit bored at a certain time when they're around for that long in the beer industry, and they're looking for more interesting stuff somewhere outside. But yeah, I'm just trying to bring pretty much a lot of outside subjects into beer. I mean, we have one beer which is made with coffee, for example, so working with different coffee roasters. But also we have like a project from the Culture program where we work with 5 different wineries from Germany, most of them in natural wine making.
Okay.
And we blend the fermenting grape mast with beer wort, and then the fermentation happens on a cruise ship, and we age the beer for like the ones we just released were like aged for 2 years in wooden barrels. So we have like the whole Culture program, which is really interesting, which is like pretty much nobody is like so German specified on styles and stuff like that for making this Culture program. And then we have also like some other niche products which are really interesting to actually, which are around, but we showcase a more bigger diversity of different stylistics within the style. One of them is like champagne beers, like I explained, you know, so a lot of would be like Belgian strong ales, and so it's like that's always the or nearly always the base for champagne beers, and we showcase like other styles. Eisbock would be another subject. Mostly it's like Weizenbock or Doppelbock as a base, but we actually use like complete like different styles like Imperial Stout, Mango Gose, and so on. You know, very different things to actually showcase the flavor profile which is possible. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of ingredients and techniques which we still want to use. So I think it's continuing to be interesting and exciting to.
I don't like to bad talk beers or brewers, but actually you have made one of the worst beers that I've tried, flavor-wise. I must say that. I tried a tomato beer from you.
Oh, the tomato beer.
Yeah, that was a flavor that I really didn't like in beers, I must say.
Do you like tomato juice generally?
Yeah.
Or?
No, not tomato juice that one. I love tomatoes, but not this juice.
Yeah, but that's the situation if you like tomatoes as a beverage.
Yeah,
it's the same.
So that's why I don't.
Yeah. It's a big problem. It's like that's a part of a series which we call the Room series.
Yeah.
So it's every year it's a very experimental beer. The very first one was a eucalyptus peppermint beer.
Yeah.
And it's like if you don't like these spices, it's a no-go for you to try pretty much, because you can't like it, because we actually show an incredible good quality of these spices in a beverage.
Yeah.
And then there's like, you know, it's like the most polarizing reactions. There's some people who love it and some people who hate it. And the same if you don't like Bloody Marys and tomato juice.
Yeah.
Not tomatoes like somewhere on the pizza or on some caprese, but actually real tomato beverages. It's impossible to like that one.
Yeah.
The one we made afterwards was a truffle beer, which was like even more polarizing.
Wow.
Like, you know, like some people loved it and some people hated it.
Yeah.
So it's really strong feelings about this one. Actually, 2 days ago we brewed the next room. It's very experimental again. And
can you say what's going to be in it?
yeah, it's a stout we made with poppy seeds.
Okay.
So that's a pretty unique, rare ingredient in beer as well. There's nearly no commercial examples around, so that's quite interesting. But it's always a question if you actually like it or not. It's just like very.
And that's what I like about you, that your beers, that you really like to experiment and take out the flavors and try your audience a lot with the flavors.
Yeah, it's like the idea is always that's kind of like where the German background comes in, is the situation that German beers are always like made for being very drinkable, and then obviously there's like certain things with incense and myrrh. It's like you're not going to be like, please give me a liter mark. And then another one and another one. So there's like some more experimental ones, but for the experiment character, there's still, I would say, they're made in a very drinkable, balanced way that you actually like. Wow, it's quite a good balanced profile characteristic which you can experience, you know. And as I said, it's obviously that people come up and they say, oh, I don't like that one and I don't like that one. That's like such a classical case when I do tastings or I serve beers at a festival, that people like go crazy for one and they don't care at all about something else. And it's just like the beers we make, which is like kind of like a lot of like the taste experiences and the taste I like and I would like to bring into beer and showcase to people. That's kind of the general idea about it. And if I like it, there's always other people who will like it as well. You know, you're never the only person who is out there who likes it. So.
One final question: do you have a tap room?
No, we don't. No, it's a solely gypsy brewery.
Oh, all right.
So I brew at a lot of different places in the world to make beer.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for the little chat.
My pleasure.
And
thanks for your attention, guys.
And see you sometimes in the future again. Cheers.